Hi, this is Shop Talk. I'm Raquel Rodriguez. Trust issues can either strengthen or strain professional and personal relationships. But for well-known speaker and best-selling author Stephen Covey, trust is more than that. Covey considers trust as a hard-edged economic driver that can make a company highly profitable. So how does trust determine if a group will progress or experience setbacks? Here to explain all these things to us is Lirio Ongpin-Mapa. She's Vice President at the Center for Leadership and Change. CLCI, which is the exclusive distributor of Franklin Covey materials in the country, will host an executive forum with the speed of trust. Author Stephen Covey on February 23rd at the Makati Shangri-La Hotel. Hello, ma'am. Thanks for coming to the show today.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me to.
Yes, of course. Now, the CLCI was established in 1996, but well before that, in 1993, it has been a part of the Ateneo Central Guidance Bureau.
That's right.
Tell us about the company that is today.
Today, we are about 40 persons. We are engaged in enabling organizations to achieve greatness.
Okay.
Yes. We actually ignite leadership potential, and we develop organizations, persons and organizations to achieve what matters most to them. But all our solutions are principle-based and are all integrated. Okay.
Now, one of the principle-based solutions that you have or concepts is leading at the speed of trust.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay. This comes from the book written by Stephen M.R. Covey.
Okay.
He is the eldest son of the Dr. Stephen Covey. Dr. Stephen Covey, as you know, wrote The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, a book that has been known, labeled, and recognized as the most influential management book of the century. Actually, 2 periodicals in the U.S. named that 7 Habits book as the most influential management book of the century.
Why is it the most influential at this point?
Well, it's been translated into 38 languages, including Chinese, Japanese. It's been, the course, the workshop is actually being taught in hundreds of countries all over the world. And it has actually been, it's actually been proven to help organizations become more effective.
Right.
Yes. Achieve their desired results. Now, the son of Dr. Covey, this is Stephen M.R. M.R. Covey, wrote the book, The Speed of Trust. So it's this
and you
book.
Brought in studio for us
yes,
today. Okay.
This is the book. Yes, yes. It's called The Speed of Trust. It says the one thing that changes everything.
Right.
The one thing that, and the beautiful thing is we're bringing him in. Over.
Yes, and the event that's happening, that's taking place this month, focuses on the concept of leading at the speed of trust.
Yes.
Tell us more about what this concept is.
It says, you know, he has 3 points, 3 main points that he'd like to express, articulate in this presentation, in this executive forum. You'd say that trust is actually a business driver. Trust is a business driver. Secondly, he would like to say that, you know, trust is the most important, it's a key competency today.
Okay.
Today. Because so much trust has been lost in businesses and other institutions.
Right.
Okay. Number 3, he'd like to show us how to build trust. How to build trust. That, you know, trust can be learned, and that people can actually become adept, very good at building trust and retaining trust.
Now, the first point is trust is a business driver. Now, how do levels or high levels of trust now translate into advantages for organizations and or companies to be profitable?
All right. You know, when trust is high, when people trust one another, transactions go much faster, and therefore operations go faster. And when you know that operations go faster, then cost goes down. So when there's high trust, speed is high, and cost goes down.
Are there any examples that we can cite that show how high levels of trust are profitable for organizations?
Yes. One example is, for instance, when Procter & Gamble was about to purchase, to go into a deal to purchase Gillette.
Okay.
Gillette. They didn't go into a lot of due diligence because the CEOs, the 2 CEOs, A.G. Lafley, the CEO of Gillette, A.G. Lafley was the CEO of P&G, and the CEO of Gillette were friends.
Okay.
So they trusted one another. So the deal went very fast without much due diligence. Okay. One example that's very interesting here in the Philippines. Have you heard of the Honesty Cafe?
Yes.
And an Honesty Cafe is in way back in Batanes. In Batanes, You know this lady who sells she puts on her goods,
Right.
her cookies, her cakes, and her sandwiches, plus all her drinks, coffee, etc. But there's no one there to serve. So she says, get what you want, and put your payment here. Of course, there are prices. No?
Right.
Put your payment here.
And that's
And business is thriving.
booming.
As a matter of fact, it's a tourist attraction
Right.
in Batanes. People go, is it real? Because she says, God is my policeman.
Now, definitely, when you look at trust and you're
Yeah.
looking at levels, if you were looking at level or trust at a higher level, you've obviously got to look at trust also at a low level. What are some of the
Yes.
challenges or disadvantages then of when trust is low for certain organizations or companies?
So when trust is low, you take time to check things. Like, for instance, a manager and a direct report. Okay, if the manager does not trust the competencies of this particular associate,
Right.
she submits a report. He looks at it. He reads line by line. Is the grammar right? Is the thinking process the right one? Etc. Etc. And so it takes time.
Right.
But when he trusts the one who submits it, it's fast. Things go fast, and he has more time to do other things, more strategic thinking for
Okay.
him. Right. Now, imagine at the Mancom level, if the department heads do not trust one another, okay, there'll be a lot of arguments. There'll be one playing, says, I want to play the devil's advocate.
Right.
I don't think you can do that. And there's a lot of argument and so forth. So what happens in decisions takes a long time, right?
Right.
And time is of essence in any business.
Well, developing
So,
trust.
cost.
Yeah.
Cost goes up because operations get slower.
Right.
Decisions are slower. And competition gets faster.
Okay.
Gets into the market ahead of you because you didn't trust one another.
Exactly, right. Now, trust is definitely something that, some may think a difficulty to develop. And there are definitely certain myths regarding trust. Can you tell us some of the myths?
Well, one of the myths is that trust is slow. Trust is soft. Oh, that you can't quantify it, you can't measure it, and that it's just trust, okay?
Right.
And in trust is just integrity.
Right.
But it's not right, you see. Trust is not soft. In fact, you've got to have, you've got to be tough in order
Okay,
to...
so in order to demystify trust myths.
Yes. You've got to be tough. Tough, first of all, on yourself, and then you've got to have competencies in order to determine whether a person can be trusted or not. So it's not...
Right.
It's not easy. It's not soft.
Right.
Okay? And that, you can actually quantify the effects
Okay.
of trust. You can quantify it. It can be learned. You can be proficient.
So these now are the realities of what
That's
trust
a
really
reality.
is. Okay.
Yes.
Now, also focusing on trust, there are the 5 waves that the concept of leading at the speed of trust focuses on.
That's right.
Tell
that's
us
right.
more about the 5.
Five
five
waves.
waves.
It's like, you throw a stone into a river and there are ripples.
Right.
Yes.
The ripple effect.
The very first, most important is self-trust. Do you trust yourself? Do you fulfill commitments even to yourself? And when you do that, when you trust yourself, you're able to fulfill your commitments to people, and people begin to see you as trustworthy.
Right.
When I am trustworthy and people trust me, this is the second level, which has to do with relationship trust. I'm
Okay.
able to build trusting relationships. People trust me. Okay? And you apply that, if I work in an organization or with my team, then you have organizational trust.
Okay.
So it starts with one team, and then other teams, and then across
essentially
functions,
starts with
across
yourself.
departments.
Right.
Yes. So you have trust within the organization, and this is what we call, there's going to be speed, and there's going to be high speed and low cost. Then, when the organization is trusted, when there is trust in the organization, this ripples out,
Right.
and the products and the services of that organization gets trusted by the market. So that's the fourth wave,
market
which is
trust.
market trust.
Okay.
Beyond that, there is such a thing also, societal trust, where there is trust across an entire society.
Okay.
But of course, it's so much harder to
Right. Now, can you give us an example of any organization or company out there that currently, like, embraces this concept of the 5 waves of trust?
Organizations, well, we all try. Okay?
Right.
We ourselves, we are trying our best. I'll give an example, for instance, J&J, Procter & Gamble. They are very strong in trying to develop the trust, first of all, among themselves,
Right.
and then within the organization, so that their products get trusted. Now, remember, market trust, you were talking about
Right.
a company, an organization that gets trusted because it is able to show the world that they can be trusted. Okay? You have high-quality products. They deliver results.
Right.
When there is a product that does not do well in the market because maybe some like before there was Tylenol, there was a batch of Tylenol that was sabotaged.
Okay.
Maybe you were not yet born, but this happened many years ago.
Right.
Anyway, J&J had they really removed the whole batch out of the market. They knew exactly where it was. It cost them millions of dollars, but that increased the trust of the market. It also
okay.
happened with Procter & Gamble with one particular product called Rely.
Right.
Yes, and it had some side effects that they had been seen, and it was pulled out of the market. But what's the result? It generated market trust. The trust of the market on those companies actually increased, and business rose.
Wow. Wow. That is amazing. And we'll definitely get more on trust when we come back. And we'll talk about the 13 behaviors of high trust leaders after this short break. Stay tuned. Shop Talk. We'll be right back.